In the whispering dunes of Silvermere Cove, where the sea sang lullabies to the salt-kissed air, Ronan Whitaker had built a life as steadfast as the lighthouse that pierced the fog each dawn. At 52, Ronan's hands were maps of weathered oak, calloused from decades of crafting driftwood sculptures that captured the ocean's wild heart. His workshop, a weathered boathouse perched on a cliff's edge, was a gallery of forgotten waves, mermaids frozen in mid-dive, ships defying tempests, all born from the flotsam of storms past. But the greatest masterpiece of Ronan's life was Leora, his daughter, now 28, with hair like spun moonlight and eyes that held the depth of hidden coves. Leora had inherited her mother's grace, a Loan, taken by the tide 12 years ago in a rogue wave that shattered their world like fragile shell. Ronan had raised Leora alone, teaching her to read the stars for navigation, to carve stories from silence. She had become a painter, her canvases alive with the blues and greys of Silvermere, sold in the village gallery to whispers of wonder. Yet, beneath their shared sunsets and laughter over fresh-baked scones, a rift had grown. Ronan's cough had started as a rasp, dismissed as sea mist in the lungs, but it deepened into a shadow. The doctors in the city confirmed it 6 months ago. Lung cancer, advanced, a thief stealing breaths one by one. Treatments were a fool's gamble, costly elixirs that promised months, not miracles. Ronan chose silence, not wanting to dim Leora's light with his fading one. He planned his farewell meticulously, like etching a final sculpture. The boathouse would be hers, deeds signed in secret, his tools laid out like offerings. He'd leave a letter on the workbench, words too raw for voice, confessions of pride, regrets for the fatherly lapses, the missed recitals for late-night carvings, the gruff silences when grief choked him. "Chase your horizons, my wave wanderer," it would say. "The sea takes, but it also returns what matters." On a slate-grey October eve, with the wind howling like a siren's lament, Ronan made his way to the boathouse. His coat hung loose on shoulders once broad as horizons, each step a negotiation with pain. He believed Leora was in the city, unveiling her latest exhibit, a lie he'd woven with a forged note about a delayed return. The door creaked open to the scent of pine shavings and brine, lanterns flickering like hesitant fireflies. Ronan sank onto the worn stool by the vise, the letter clutched in trembling fingers. The workshop enveloped him, half-finished gulls on the walls, a cradle hewn for Leora's unborn dreams. He cleared his throat, voice a gravelly whisper meant for the empty air, but laced with the ache of unsaid years. "Leora, my girl, if you're hearing this in some echo of the wind, know that every curve I carved was for you. Remember the night we built that sandcastle fortress? You were 7, fierce as a squall, declaring it unbreakable. I envied that fire in you, the way you saw beauty in the breaking waves, not just the crash. I should have told you more. After your mother. Alone. The sea stole her laugh, and I let it steal mine too. Buried it under hammers and chisels, thinking work would mend the hollow. But you, Leora, you mended it without trying. Your paintings, they're not just colors. They're the light I lost, splashed across canvas like hope refusing to drown." Tears carved paths down his stubbled cheeks, unseen in the dim glow. Outside, hidden in the shadow of the upturned dinghy, Leora huddled, her coat sodden from the mist. She'd returned early, heart buoyant from the exhibit's acclaim, only to find the cottage empty and this forged note, a scrawl too unsteady to be her father's. Worry had drawn her here, to the boathouse's salt-crusted door. Peering through a crack, she'd frozen as his voice spilled out, each word a splinter in her chest. She hadn't meant to eavesdrop, the sea's roar masked her approach. But now, she couldn't move, breath caught like a fish on a line. Ronan's soliloquy wove through the cracks, wrapping around her like kelp. "I saw the doctor yesterday," he continued, voice fracturing like ice underfoot. It's closing in, love. The cough's just the herald. They say months, maybe less. I came to say goodbye proper, without the mess of tears and tubes. Didn't want you nursing shadows when you could be chasing sunrises in galleries far from this cove. Sell the sculptures, fund your dreams. But God, Leora, if I could chisel one more thing, it'd be time to say I love you fierce as the tides pull. You're my anchor, my North Star. Don't let the waves tell you otherwise. Farewell, my wave wanderer. Ride high." The letter fluttered to the workbench as Ronan bowed his head, shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Leora's world tilted, the exhibit's applause a hollow echo against this revelation. Cancer. Goodbye. The man who taught her resilience was surrendering, not to the disease, but to a love so vast it demanded her freedom over his lingering. Rage and grief warred within her, rage at his secrecy, grief at the stolen moments. But beneath it, a fierce bloom. He thought her unbreakable, a force to be unleashed, not tethered. She pushed the door wide, the hinges wailing like a wounded gull. Ronan startled, eyes widening in the lantern's betrayal. Leora. You're back early. His voice cracked, the letter snatched up like a shield. She crossed the threshold in 3 strides, tears mirroring his own. Early enough to hear every word, DA. Every damn curve and crash. Her hands found his face, thumbs tracing the lines she'd always seen as stories, not sentences. You think I'd chase horizons without you? That your farewell erases the sandcastles we built? The sea took ma'am, but it won't take you. Not like this, not alone. Ronan crumpled then, the stool creaking under their shared weight as she pulled him close. His arms, frail but familiar, encircled her like the boathouse walls. I didn't want to burden. Your love's never been a burden, she whispered, voice fierce as the storm outside. It's the chisel that shaped me. We are fighting this, DA together. Doctors, elixirs, whatever the tide brings. And if the waves call you home, I'll carve our story into every sculpture, every stroke. But not yet. Not without goodbyes that echo back. In the days that followed, Silvermere's lighthouse bore witness to their pact. Ronan underwent treatments, Leora's paintings funding the fight, vibrant storms now laced with defiant dawns. The boathouse became a haven of half-whispered fears and full-throated laughs, sculptures evolving to include 2 figures, father and daughter, hands entwined against the surge. Ronan's cough softened, not to miracle, but to the medicine of presence, the unspoken made manifest. Leora learned that farewells aren't endings, but invitations, to listen closer, love louder. And Ronan, in the warmth of her unyielding gaze, discovered that anchors don't hold waves back, they ride them, unbreakable. In Silvermere's eternal whisper, their story etched eternal, a testament that the heart hears what the eyes miss, turning goodbyes into the most profound of hellos. Thank you for watching this story till the end. Sparkles. If it touched your heart, please support us. Thumbs up sign, give it a like. Speech balloon, share your thoughts in the comments. Bell, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us create more stories that inspire and make you believe in miracles. Your participation means a lot to us.